How is it going, everyone? Yesterday's video covering dynamic pricing was a bit of a doozy. A lot of you guys definitely got upset about this, and there's a lot of people talking about this right now, and I think it deserves to be brought up. Even if the word is that this dynamic pricing model and the price A, price B testing model that's not being sent out into the United States yet, and it's region specific. It's going out in a lot of regions by the looks of it. And on top of that, I think this is worth discussing from a wide variety of angles on how the digital gaming push and us moving more into an all-digital world. Like, let's be honest, if you look at the digital game sales, it is growing every year and more people are moving to digital only. The convenience, the fact you can just download the game, you can buy a game, download it, the ease of access, so on and so forth. It really just boils down to convenience. A lot of people are going digital, however, there's still people that do want to go the physical route of things, but I think when you're talking online, yes, you'll hear a lot of people talk about physical gaming. I talk about physical gaming, and I love having my physical copies of games, but I do think sometimes we are in the minority. Not to say that we're this overwhelming minority of people that still buy physical games, and don't get me wrong, I buy games digital every now and again, but I try to get games digitally when they're south of like $15 to $20. Whenever for me, I'm buying a game that's a bit more expensive, especially like a new release, I try to get a physical copy of that just because I know there's value in having that. But again, that's how I approach things. More and more people are buying their games digitally, which is going to lead PlayStation to do specific things. Now, let's circle back to the dynamic pricing topic for a second. I had said, and the word going around is that, oh, this is only happening in certain regions, it's not happening across the board, and it hasn't come to the United States yet. Is that really the case? Because while there isn't this idea of dynamic pricing that's in the United States, there absolutely are still targeted offers. Targeted offers have existed for quite a while. Just a little while ago, with the Lunar New Year sale, PlayStation Plus was offering a deal where people who weren't subscribed to PlayStation Plus could subscribe to 12 months of PS Plus, 35% off, I believe it was. However, if you were already subscribed to PlayStation Plus, you couldn't get an additional 12 months. You could only upgrade the remaining days of your subscription for the same value, but let's say you had a month left in your subscription. Whoa there, you're upping the tier of your PlayStation Plus subscription for the rest of the month that you have. Most people wanted to re-up for a month because that was a value offer, but that value offer isn't being given to the more loyal customers that are already PlayStation Plus, and that's what I want to bring up more than anything. This dynamic pricing model doesn't seem to be rewarding people that are the most loyal PlayStation customer, and that's how I would imagine the algorithm would be working, in the sense that, you know, if they see that you're somebody with disposable income or that you're buying a lot of games, there's no need to give you a lot of deals. Just like, they literally just did this with this PlayStation Plus deal. Like I said, oh, you're already subscribed to PlayStation Plus, we already got one foot in the door from you. We'll give you a bit of a deal, but not that good of a deal that we're gonna reserve for the people that aren't PlayStation Plus subscribers, and we really need to get those people's money and them in the door of spending money on PlayStation Plus regularly. You get what I'm saying? And beyond that, there was also the story, it wasn't really a story, but there was a weekend offer sale a few weeks ago where that sale wasn't really being promoted on any of the PlayStation social media platforms, but if you went onto your PS5 console and you went to the PlayStation store, some people had access to that weekend offer sale while some people didn't. It was very strange to me, but I did a video on it and I said, hey, I don't know if everybody's got access to the sale. I personally did have access to the sale, and then other people commented saying that they did have access to the sale. Some people said that they didn't, so I don't even know how something like that was handled, but it feels like under the hood, there are things going on. I don't know exactly how PlayStation's methodology works on how they're going about these things, but there's absolutely stuff going on when it comes to this dynamic pricing. Now, there's a lot of legal issues and things of that nature, but the PlayStation Plus offer, that's not going to get them in any legal turmoil. But I do think that's a very relevant topic to bring up, in the sense that they already pull things like this, and that happens stateside. So for everybody saying that they're not doing targeted offers or things of that nature, they kind of are, and I think that PlayStation Plus offer really exemplifies that even more. Now, beyond just this dynamic pricing thing, I do want to talk about just the issues of going into an all-digital future, and it's every time we do a PlayStation Store sale video, you guys, that I look at the deals that are available, and you can look at the Dealomania sale and look at some of the deals that are available right now as a part of this sale, and sure, you're always gonna find good deals under the price of, you know, 20 bucks, under $10, so on and so forth, but then there's also deals, like, let's go through it. Horizon Forbidden West, the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 cross-gen version for the base game is $29.99. Yes, you could buy the PS4 version of the game and then upgrade it to the PS5, but it's still the base version of the game. Guys, PlayStation themselves, the PlayStation Direct website, was selling the complete edition for $19.99. That includes the Burning Shores expansion, but yet for some reason, if you want to buy the game digitally, which they are objectively making more money on, you have to pay a premium. Metaphor ReFantazio is here, 50% off for $35. That game was on sale on Amazon recently for $22 or $23 or something like that. And those are just some that I can bring up, like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I've seen that on sale for $15. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, and let's talk about Yakuza 0 Director's Cut as well, because that's 30% off for $35. Guess what? When Yakuza 0 Director's Cut came out, what was pulled from the PlayStation Store? The original Yakuza 0, and they can manipulate the offerings on the digital storefront this way. When a game is in circulation from a physical standpoint, yes, you can stop printing the game, but beyond that, the game still exists and being able to be bought via used copies and so on and so forth. RGG and Sega have figured it out that, hey, we can release upgraded versions of these games, delist the original, and then artificially juice up the value of these games. And Sony has done that as well when they dropped Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered and they upped the price of the original Horizon Zero Dawn. Some people might make the argument, oh, you should have bought this game when it came out. Why should there be a timeline in terms of when you can buy a video game, especially a digital video game, unless there's a licensing agreement involved, which, let me tell you, there is no licensing agreement that made Horizon Zero Dawn need to get a remastered release and the original got juiced up in price. There is no licensing agreement that makes it so the original Yakuza 0 had to get delisted. That just does not exist. And people saying, oh, you had ample time to buy these games. Guys, there are different people at different stages of life that maybe they're not following every game that's coming out. Maybe they're not fans of X franchise, or they didn't have interest in X franchise. They shouldn't be expected, people in general shouldn't be expected that because the game's already been available for however many years that, oh, this is the window that you can buy a game at, and then beyond that, oh, I'm sorry, they got an upgraded release and now you gotta pay a premium if you want to play the game that's been out for, how long has Yakuza 0 been out? It's been out for like a decade at this point. Why are we paying $35 on this game? But when we go into an all-digital future, that is the power that they have over you, where they dictate what's offered on the store. They can pull games and then it's just gone. It's gone for good in terms of you being able to buy it. Now, obviously, with the Yakuza 0, if you already bought the game, you'll be able to re-download it, but it's just things that they do, very crafty things that they do, that a decade ago, if you told me that they were gonna start doing things like delisting games and then releasing upgraded releases and selling those, and in all honesty, that probably happened a little bit back in the day. Like, I remember when Ubisoft delisted the original Assassin's Creed 3 from Steam, and then they dropped Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. Yeah, stuff like that does happen, but I feel like it is so much more frequent these days, and ultimately it's not every publisher doing it, but it is definitely something that happens. And then when it's something like PlayStation as an entity, the whole storefront applying dynamic pricing and things of that nature, that's a little bit worrying, and that's very worrying because PlayStation is the owner of the entire storefront. They dictate how things go. So it's one thing when Sega, one of the publishers that lists some games on the PlayStation Store, they decide to do some funky things like delist Yakuza 3 for Kiwami 3, delist Yakuza 0, delist Sonic Generations on Steam. They did that when Sonic X Shadow Generations came out. That didn't happen on PlayStation because Sonic Generations never got remastered prior to that, or didn't get ported or anything like that to newer PlayStation consoles, but Sega does that with Yakuza 3, Yakuza 0. It's one thing, again, they're one publisher. PlayStation is the platform holder. They own the PlayStation Store. Them dictating, okay, we're gonna do dynamic pricing, and then the games illustrated as Assassin's Creed Unity. Well, that's a Ubisoft game, and now all of these other publishers are in play as well for the dynamic pricing as well. Red Dead 2, we saw that having issues with dynamic pricing, and I say issues, but obviously it's something that they wanted to do. And even recently, you guys, I know of a lot of people after Ghost of Yotei came out. I want to say it was 2 to 3 months after Yotei came out. Some people got offers where they could buy Ghost of Yotei at a discount. I believe it was just $10 off, but PlayStation playing with these things that, oh, some people get the offers, some people don't, and how do you come to the determination of who's getting these offers? I'm led to believe it's just an algorithm that is going to pinpoint, hey, these people might be prone to buying a game if we give them a little bit of a discount. These people are more prone to buying a game if we give them a bigger discount. Let's give the discounts at the right percentages where the right people are going to pay the most amount of money possible. And guys, when you think about that, isn't that pretty dangerous? Look, you as somebody that is the most invested into the PlayStation ecosystem are the ones that are getting the lesser deals. That is something they can absolutely do, and they literally did do that. You didn't have the offer to sign up for PlayStation Plus for an additional year for 35% off or whatever it was, but guess what? The new subscribers that they want new people more invested into their ecosystem, they get that offer. Think about that for a second. They got rid of the loyalty rewards program as well. And this is something that I've said for a while when I talk about PlayStation. They do not care about the investment level of their core consumer base because they feel that core audience, the most invested ones, they are the suckers. We have you by the balls and you'll always spend money on us. Why would we give you deals? Why would we give you rewards programs? Why would we give you rewards points? Pay us full price and we want the $150, $160 for PlayStation Plus Premium. And guess what? While we up the price of PS Plus Premium, what we'll also do is we'll lower the value proposition and we won't add classic games like you thought you were gonna get. That's just something I do want to bring up because I think it's important to talk about, and that element of that core consumer base that is the most invested, that has been spending the most amount of money, more than anyone, more than most people, I should say. There's whales playing live service games, I get that, but generally speaking, that loyal consumer base that buys all of these games, they are the ones that are getting the short end of the stick as far as rewards programs being done away with, PlayStation Plus offers not being given to you, and again, how the dynamic pricing is handled, which we still don't have transparency on that. I wish we could at least get some transparency on how it's handled, but, you know, I don't know if we'll get that. But that'll do it for me, and let me know all of your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Certainly going to be an interesting topic to follow over the course of the next year or so, and maybe well beyond that. But I've talked about it before. While we cover the digital game deals more than ever, I am in a position where if I buy a digital game for myself, I want to spend around $10 to $20 max on it. And then beyond that, I really look if I can get a game that's over $20 or at $20 physically, because there's so much more value in that. Imagine buying Horizon Forbidden West right now on the PlayStation Store, spending $20 for a digital copy of the game, but yet PlayStationDirect.com is selling the complete edition with all of the content on 2 discs for $20 as well. Like, that's ridiculous if you actually think about it. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.